part with the pre-servants, as my experience in St. Mary or other churches, needs a lot of work, needs a lot of attention from the kids. When we put them with the servants, they all became part of the service. And thank God is, even if they're, as I said, if their instrument is very, very minute effect in the whole harmony of what they have apart. And thanks to Ulfat, and he's working with them very good. Actually, he's giving a lot of attention to those young kids, distributing the responsibilities, having them work in the summer camp, coming to here, work with the children, and I think it's working for us. My future thinking is when we are all established, I can start a pre-servant class. But we still not at this level yet. That's my feeling. And that's why, I wanted Dr. Ulfat to talk about the vision for next year. The vision for next year are in two parts. One for the service and one for the servants. For the service, we talked about yesterday and today. We talked about the group service, how to work together in harmony. We talked about the individual care, how to care for each child in your class. And we talked about how you care for these children by not stuffing them with information, by edifying them, helping them to learn how to face life and how to find this kind of change in their life. So this is the two concepts that we got from the two sessions. And this is our vision for the service for next year. And it's back in your hand, so you can do this. My vision for the servants, and I talked about Dr. Ulfat about this, in our servant meeting, we're going to call it Back to Basics. This year is going to be Back to Basics. And I think we are lacking a lot of basics of our faith, of our dogma, of our belief, of our basic reasons for our basic characteristics of service, and that's why we started this year with this retreat. So this year is going to be Back to Service, the Back to Basics, talking about history of our church, talking about the Bible, talking about the dogma, talking about theology. We need to be strong in these things so we can be able to serve the kids. You remember when I talked today about the teaching characteristics, that it is orthodox. You remember? We talked about Christian teaching and Orthodox teaching. So we're lacking this one. So to have this Orthodox teaching, we made this year as Back to the Basics. So those are our vision, and I want you to be with me together to work this year to learn more, to be better. And those pre-servants, they will become in the future part with you in the service. And then hopefully in a couple of years, I will start the pre-servant class. So that's a question, answer to this question. Next question, Dr. Faith.
There are two questions about the stubborn kids. I'm not sure what the age range, but it seems like maybe the little kids, maybe preschool and kindergarten, and maybe first few years of the elementary. It says like we face a lot of problems with stubborn kids. How we deal with them. Maybe I'm doing all what I can, but without any result, or maybe I'm not satisfied with my service with them, what I can do. And what are the steps that I can do with these kids, with the kids that say no all the time, even when I talk with them, what can I do with them? What can I do with the kids that try to refuse or escape from any responsibility that I give to them, any responsibility that suits their age. So the stubborn kid is actually related to many kind of factors. Is it just like stubborn of the age, or it is related to something like pathological, or something related to the upbringing, or something going on at home? So we have to figure out maybe by like if we can like talk with the parents to know exactly is this a pattern that is going on everywhere, or is it just at the Sunday school? What kind of things that the kid like to do, and then we can encourage him to do similar things during the class. Definitely any stubborn kid may lack of like love at home. Maybe parents are busy doing like taking care of the younger kid. Maybe the father is not there all the time. The mother is overwhelmed with a lot of responsibilities, and he is missed. You know, nobody giving him the love that he needs. So definitely, love should be the first thing. If it is like more like deeper than that, if it is something a pattern that is the kid is out of control at home and at school and in Sunday school, so definitely like searching or looking for like professional evaluation or something that would be helpful. If they are like at home, they don't know how to deal with him, and it's like the 1 hour or 1.5 hours that the kids spend at Sunday school, it's going to be the same behavior. So something has to be done. But I have in mind a lot of kids that were stubborn in this age, and later on things completely changed. So it may be related also to this age as a way to prove themselves, to say no. This is my choice. Maybe they don't have a lot of things, a lot of room to express their like choices at home or at school, but so they found a little bit of a room at Sunday school, so they say no. So it has to, we have to go deep in details a little bit to know exactly if that's just situational, or if that's kind of a pattern that continues in more than one setting, at home and at school and everywhere. So definitely praying for the kid is number one that we can think of. Like if I have a kid that every time I have hard time redirecting him, and I don't know how to deal with him, and I'm giving up. I don't think that anything is going to work with him. So I have to continue trying and pray, and God's gonna guide us. And I remember, like, but maybe in the later on ages, things can completely change. And I have in mind models of people that everybody was having hard time dealing with them, and when they grow up, they became like completely perfect person. So it may be related to the age, but we need to go in details more to know if any kind of professional help would be needed.
Dr. Fadi, can I point two things? Number one, can I ask you on the spot to help us out with that respect, like later on? Because the second point I want to mention that I don't want you as a servant to put too much on yourself. I don't want you to say, I'm going to solve it, and I'm going to solve it on the spot. It's a longer process. So I hope that your time can allow you to teach us some tools, and when I can ask for help, like a professional help for a particular child, please.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to answer a simple question, and I'm going to leave the last one to Ragis. Can we find تراتيل بالعربي? Can we find تراتيل or songs that aren't translated to English? Can we get some from Catholic or Protestant church? Is this coming from a servant?
Yeah, it's from لا
Well,
معلش بس اللي انا قصدي عليه انه التراتيل دي اللي احنا بنعملها بالانجلش it makes يعني sound good for us مثلا for some of us بس لاولادنا احنا الصغيره لاولادنا والجيل اللي طالع جديد ده we need something with a different tone لان التون بتاعنا احنا بتاع مصر doesn't work with the الترانسليشن اللي احنا عاملينها يعني انا كنت بشوف احيانا في الكتب البروتستانت والكاثوليك حاجات معانيها خرافيه فعلا معانيها جميله فانا قصدي لو مثلا حد يبص عليهم ويقول ايه اللي ينفع كنيستنا وايه اللي ما ينفعش.
Thank you for saying this.
I was going to say, in the PowerPoint that we had for today, it has a ton of songs that you can actually hear on the radio on the Christian station, but we didn't sing them today because most of us don't know them.
Yeah.
So we ended up picking the ones that we could relate to, but there are tons that we already
لا
have.
انا يعني what I mean is for our children كمان
Yeah, for the
عشان
kids.
نقدر نعلمها لاولادنا.
Let me give you one thing. First of all, singing in the Orthodox Church was not there. It's always praises and liturgical songs. So songs came with the Protestant move. And when they came to Egypt, we started, because that's how they started to grab those who are very loose, attached to the church. And by that started to grow. So we started to pick what could be sung in our church, and we started to use. So actually the source of all these songs are not Orthodox. Very, very few that we created in our own, that we still relate to it, like my Coptic church, because nobody would say that in the Protestant or the Catholic church. So things like that, we started to have some of these songs. I have no problems with songs, but again, I wanted to say 2 points here. Don't forget that we need Orthodox teachings. So incorporate some praises, some hymns. This is a kind of singing that they need to see in the church too. Because if they all got full or filled with the outworld or other churches kinds of singing, they will not relate to any of our church things. So that's different. I mean, I don't know the future for the charity churches or English churches. I don't know the future for the tones or anything. This could change over 50 years, change for over a year or two. So that's number one, is we don't forget about our Orthodox part in our things. So we need to teach them some hymns and some praises that we do. The second point, I have no problem to use songs, but before you use it,
Yeah.
read it very well. Make sure that it is Christ-centered, that it is that does not defeat any of our faith and belief. Why I'm saying this? Because you will never find songs, whether in Catholic, Orthodox, Catholic, Protestant, or any church, that can talk about the saints, because they don't believe in the saints. They will never talk about sacraments, because they don't have sacraments. Okay? They will never talk about priesthood, because they don't have priesthood. So all the songs that you will get, it will lack all these things. And if my child is growing only on these songs, these things will be left out in his mind. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Singing is very effective in children and in teaching. In the past, the way that they can pass information and faith and belief is through singing. Arius, the first heretic of the church, the way he was able to have all the people to believe in what he said, he made lots of praises that proves his point, which is heretical. So it's a heresy. And that's why we had on the other side, we started to have all these songs and madayah and kida to prove the right faith and the right dogma. So if we start to hear only these types of songs, we will lose that connection with our church. So we can use them, but you have to be also balanced. Don't just use only Protestant church songs, use your only church. Don't say that you don't relate because that's all what they hear outside. Yes, that's all what they hear outside. But I'm not gonna drain myself down to the world so I can relate to them. That's what we have. This is actually what we have is a very rich teaching and a very rich treasures of the, this is the treasures of our church. So, I mean, I don't think we need to leave our children out of the base of the church. That's my, okay, I'll hear from you, Rida. You had a
I'm
word.
just going to say that there is a mechanism, as I understand, of us submitting these things to the hierarchy of the church. And
Yeah,
for them
to get
accept it,
approved.
To get approved. So that at least
Yeah, that's what
I
the
said.
most important part.
Just have a few that can get approved.
Yeah, and that's an email to Grace on the video you can send to you. You can see if it can become part of the liturgical. Because you're correct, there are specific worship songs that speak very deep to the richness of Christ. And this is something that our church, we focus so much sometimes I feel into the saints and the other sacraments.